Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilton Hoops.
So this is really good right here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. It is Chilltown Hoops. We do this weeknights. Me and my man Tony Tone do it on Tuesday nights, and I'm here weeknights to talk pro basketball. And we are in the NBA Finals. And I was thinking, I remember it was the summer of 2002, right? And in the summer of 2002, we were going into the football season, all right? We were going into the football season. What up, Jake? We were going into the football season, and I remember thinking, like, what my 49ers were going to do, what the Rams were going to be. And then it dawned on me. I was like, yo, the Patriots won a Super Bowl. That's where we at right now. The Patriots won a Super Bowl. Like, that's wild as hell. Like, I had forgotten that the Patriots had won a Super Bowl. I say that to say I'm in a space right now where I'm thinking Oklahoma City's about to win the NBA championship. Like, I have to come to that realization. The Thunder there's gonna be a parade in Oklahoma City. Like, that's happening. This is a team that showed up in Oklahoma City, 16 years ago? They showed up in Oklahoma City, and they turned this thing into a championship organization when most franchises don't do that. What up, Jay? Who has done that in that short a period of time? The last team that I remember specifically was the Miami Heat. It took them 18 years to do it. The Orlando Magic got to the finals in 2009. They showed up in 89 or 88, I'm sorry. So, 21 years after they showed up, they end up in they showed up in the NBA championship 21 years later. So they showed up twice. The Magic were in the NBA Finals twice in 20 years. They were there they were there in 95, and then they were there again in 2009. So with that being said, right? With that being said, it says a lot about how your organization is being built, who's running things, and how competent are they when they're running things. Because with Oklahoma City being a small market, they're not the only small market in the NBA. Portland is not a huge market. Minnesota is not a huge market. Charlotte is not a huge market. Right? Orlando is not a huge market. But when you have a competent front office that knows how to maximize draft picks, knows how to make correct trades, knows how to develop talent like what they're doing in Oklahoma City, it's a recipe for success. Because remember who we're dealing with here, right? Remember, we're dealing with Oklahoma City. In the end, we have to remember, right? In the end, we have to remember that as good as the competency level is of Sam Presti, as good as the facilities are, as well as they develop, right, as well as they develop talent, it's still Oklahoma City. It's still Portland. It's still Minnesota. It's still Salt Lake City, right? So with it still being these places, you still have to do a lot of selling because nobody's signing a free agent contract. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about nobody of real substance is signing a free agent contract to come to Salt Lake City. When you're doing something, you got to build it through the draft, and you got to hit. You got to hit on trades, and you got to hit on draft picks. You have to do that. So with that being said, right? With that being said, Oklahoma City has hit on draft picks. They trade for SGA. Lou Dort is undrafted. He was in that Indiana organization, by the way. they pick him up off the scrap heap and they turn him into an all-league level defender. Exactly what we need, a la Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, A.V. Bradley, in that mode right there. We trade for SGA, who at that time, if you don't make that trade, because it sounds like a no-brainer. I mean, it looks like a ridiculous trade today, considering what SGA turned into. But back in 2019, if you don't make the trade for Paul George, you're getting fired. You say no to a rook, a guy coming off his rook season who we don't know who he is. In the 2018-2019 season, at the end of that season, I'm trying to think of a player in today's game that I can equate Paul George to in the 2018-2019 season. A player that was that good in the 2018-2019 season. And if you are looking at, and by the way, he's in his prime too. So at that time, you know, Paul George had showed up. I think he showed up in 2010. Yeah, he showed up in 2010. So 2019, he's first team All-Pro, right? He's first team All-Pro. I think he was first team All-Defense that year too. SGA is coming off of his rook season. We have no idea who he is. We have no idea what he's about. Nothing. And then now Paul George becomes available. He wants out of Oklahoma City. He's demanding to be traded. And you got this rook in SGA who Doc knows that is something special about this kid. He doesn't want to give him up. Doc sees it. Doc knows this kid is special. But I have to do this because in return, I'm getting Paul George and I'm getting Leonard. I'm getting both of these guys. If you don't make that trade, you're fired. But it's obvious what it turned out to be. I mean, revisionist history and hindsight is definitely 2020. Looking back on it, you're like, damn, how could we have been so dumb? Well, you didn't see that at the time. No, you didn't. So they trade for SGA, and they basically raised him because he had only played one season with the Clippers, and he didn't really play that much. He played there, but he didn't play that much. They also get a first-round pick with trading for, right? They get a first-round pick in trading for SGA. That first-round pick turns into the number 12 pick in the 2022 NBA draft. 3 years later, that pick turned out to be J-Dub. We hit again. Right? We hit again. So now I'm good on Lou Dort, turning him into a player. SGA, we're turning him into a player. We got this kid in Jalen Williams, who we don't know, but we're gonna do our best to turn him into a player. We kind of got a bit of a log jam at the point guard spot because I got Josh Giddey and SGA, and they're kind of tripping over each other. That's not to say that Josh Giddey can't play or that Josh Giddey's not good. It's just him and SGA, like they're tripping over each other. It's like having two lead singers. I'm not saying that SGA and Josh are the same player. No, I just got 2 point guards, right? I just got 2 point guards, and one of them's better than the other one. Not that this one isn't awesome, but one of them's better than the other one. So I'm going to keep this guy. I'm going to move off of this guy. And what else do I need? I need some rotation guys, right? I need some rotation guys. And I also need some luck. That's how I end up with the number 2 pick in the draft, right? That's how I end up with the number 2 pick in the draft. And I'm going to bag this kid, Chet Holmgren. I'm going to take him. And then I'm going to take my second-round picks, and I'm going to use them on guys like Aaron Wiggins, who nobody cares about. Nobody cares about him. Nobody was particularly interested in Aaron Wiggins. Nobody. But I tell you what, I'll take him off your hands. Yes, I will. 100% I'll take him off your hands. No doubt. This kid, Cason Wallace, who the Mavericks draft. Yeah, Dallas ends up taking him, but they ain't particularly interested in him. I'll take him off your hands. Sure. Because the unit that I'm building, there's an identity that I'm building with this unit. I'm building around SGA, but I'm building a defensive unit. So I'm trading Josh Giddey, and I'm going to bag this kid Caruso, who's basically wasting away in Chicago. And the reason why he's wasting away in Chicago is because they've had some unfortunate luck. Lonzo Ball ends up getting hurt, and this throws a monkey wrench in everything that they're trying to do. So now they're just basically driving a car that's broken and seeing how far we can get with it. Because we're already on the road. Right? We're already on the road with this car. We can't pull over. We got to keep going. And then here comes Oklahoma City going, I'll tell you what I'll do. How about you hand over this kid Caruso and you can have a lead guard? This kid Giddey. Chicago's like, bet. The money works? Yes, let's do it. And it's a win-win for everybody. I got my lead guard of the future. Lonzo Ball ends up breaking down and he can't play for 2 years. I got my lead guard of the future. I got this defensive savant in Alex Caruso, and I'm building my unit around that. He fits perfect for what we're doing. I'm going to bag this kid Wiggins out of Maryland that nobody's talking about. Nobody is particularly interested in him. This 6'6" kid who's a long ball shooter who can shoot it with the best of them, right? Who can shoot it with the best of them, which so works. I love that, right? So this thing is working. This thing is 100% working. And the model that Oklahoma City built with not just drafting J-Dub, not just trading for Alex Caruso, who they did a great job in, trading for him, trading for SGA, bagging Lou Dort in free agency, drafting J-Dub, bagging Aaron Wiggins, this kid Isaiah Joe, who you get late. He's another one who nobody is particularly interested in. Philly ends up drafting him, and Philly ain't particular. They don't really know what to do with him. So Oklahoma City comes along and says, "You know what? How about you give him to us? Sure, we'll take him. We'll take him off your hands. He fits perfect for what we're doing. 100%. He fits great for what we're doing. And then on top of that, they get this other kid, Jalen Williams, also out of Arkansas, who, again, nobody's particularly interested in. They bag him in the second round, and we're developing this. And when you have Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins and Lou Dort, when you got players like that, okay, that's where our developmental team comes in. They actually have that. I don't know if you guys know this, but they have that in the NBA. They have a specific department in the NBA for that. It's called player development. We have people specifically to develop guys, right? Specifically for Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins and Lou Dort. Because what we do is we sit down and we watch tape and we see how this guy fits in to what we're doing. Wow, this guy Lou Dort, man, super hard-nosed, works his ass off, great defender, great dirty work guy. Looks like he has some potential as a shooter, but definitely on defense, he looks like he's going to be something that I can work with. 6'4", about 220 pounds, look like he should be a fullback in the NFL. I think he can take advantage of these weaker guards in the NBA. Okay, that's great. What about this kid, Jalen Williams? 6'9", could shoot the long ball. Maybe I can get some rebounding out of him. He can be a positive on defense for us. Okay, I like what I'm seeing out of him. He looks like he's a pick and pop big. Okay, that works. I like what I'm seeing from him. This kid, Aaron Wiggins. Like, nobody is particularly interested in this guy. Why not? First of all, looking at him on the surface, he's 6'6", 6'7", wiry, can shoot the long ball, which is also something that we're trying to do. Is it because he's older? He's 23 years old, so I can see that a lot of you guys might not be particularly interested in him. I could see it. He's a little bit older, and we live in a young man's league. He's 23 years old. He played a bunch of years at Maryland. But I'm actually in favor of that because that's a more mature kid. So I like that about him. And I love his upside. I think he fits perfect for what we're doing. And again, I'm not even getting into J-Dub, this 6'6" scoring machine at Santa Clara who nobody is paying attention to. Nobody is particularly paying attention to him. Played 3 years. Comes in the game, he's 22 years old. Nobody's particularly paying attention to him. Again, this is a young man's league. 22 years old is considered to be a little older. You'd like him a little bit younger than that because we could develop him. This kid, on the other hand, 22, great upside, 6'6", looks like he could be really good on defense. Damn good athlete. I like what I'm seeing from him. Comes off screens, can knock down open shots, really good in transition, great in the passing lane. I think we can. I think he can help us. And then we couple him with SGA. I already see what I'm looking at with Alex Caruso. This is what's going on. This is what's going on in these front offices, in the film room, with player development. These are teams like Oklahoma City, like Minnesota, that's doing their homework on these guys and turning these guys into players. See, Charlotte ain't doing no homework. They're not. They ain't serious. They're not serious in Charlotte. They're not. They're not. Because if they were serious, they do a better job in drafting. They do a better job in doing their homework. I'm not buying this logic that the draft is a crapshoot. Okay, I do understand that logic. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm sold on it. Off the strength that there's gems in the draft that because you're not doing your homework, you're missing on them. There's a reason why your jury saw Giannis and he was doing everything that he could to move up in the draft because he was like, that's my franchise player. That's my franchise player. In Milwaukee, don't think that I don't know that you're trying to hide this kid. Don't think I don't know what you're trying to do over here. I know you hiding him. I know what's going on with him. I know what he looks like. 6'10". There's a reason why they call him the Greek freak. Super freak athlete. I see what you're looking at. Yes. And if there's anything that I can do to move up in the draft, I'm doing it because that's my franchise player right there when nobody's paying attention. So I think that the business model that Oklahoma City has put forth and turned into a championship team, it works. Now, does that mean that this works for everybody? No, it doesn't. Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. Let's be clear about that. There's more than one way to win. But we live in a copycat league. And immediately when somebody sees you doing something, they think we got to do it like that too. When in reality, that's not the only formula to winning. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that you have to have in order to win. There's certain things that you have to do in order to win. I need elite perimeter play. I got that in SGA. I found that in this kid, Jalen Williams. Got it. I need a box player. Now, not the box player that was going on in 1992 or 1995. Okay, Shaq's gone. Olajuwon's gone, right? David Robinson is gone. Mutombo, those guys are gone. The big man is different today. But I do need a guy that I can get buckets to on a box. But I do need a guy that's versatile. Also, with that being said, who can I get that's available that does these things? Well, this kid Chet, I lucked out and got the number 2 pick in the draft. So I think he's the wave of the future. I'm already on record telling you that the NBA is about to look like a bunch of Wembys and Chet Holmgrens. That's about to be what the NBA is. So I got a guy that I can go to on the block. But I also got a guy who can stretch the defense. I got a guy that can step out on the perimeter. I got a guy that can crack the long ball. I got a guy that can put the ball on the floor. I have that. Perfect. Okay. Elite wing perimeter players. Check. A big time big. Check. I need great rotation guys. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso. Check. Got that figured out. I need elite perimeter defense. Check. Got that figured out too. Well, it looks like I got all the ingredients. Okay, I need a chef because I'm going to tell you guys right now. And you guys can say that I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I can't overstate how important coaching is. As important as developing is, coaching is even more important. Because I can have all the ingredients necessary to put together a great meal. If I got the wrong chef in the kitchen, he's going to burn it and he's going to wreck it. Kind of like what's going on in Charlotte. Kind of like what happens in Atlanta. Kind of like what's going on in Washington. But it looks like it looks like they're on to something in Washington. For me, it looks like they're trying to turn this into something different. I love this kid, Alex Sarr. Love him. I don't like Alex Sarr. I love him. I think he could be on defense. I think he could be Rudy Gobert good. I think he's that good. So, with that being said, I need the right coach in here. Well, I'm not looking for somebody that's a quick fix. No, because a quick fix, that's short term. And that's going to screw up my guys who are turning into something. Right? That's going to screw up my guys that are becoming like Lou Dort and Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. These guys are turning into players. With them turning into players, right? With them turning into players, I need that developmental guy. I got somebody like that in my G League. His name's Mark Dagnall. He might be, I think he's perfect for what we're doing. Let's bag him. Yeah, let's call him up. Because if you know anything about me, you know I'm not a big fan of recycling. I'm not a fan of recycling old coaches. I'm just not a fan of that. I've never really been a fan of that. I never will be a fan of that. I'm a fan of innovation. I'm a fan of innovation. 100% I am. If you have something that's different from somebody else and it's working, let's take a look at it. I'm not one of these people that poo-poos ideas. Bring it to the group. What you got going on over there? Let's take a look at it. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, there's some people who, you know, will take your stuff and steal it, like starving artists. Yeah, in the words of Freeway, starving artists that'll eat your track. So don't bring them around. Yeah, but in this particular situation, Oklahoma City has that guy already in their mix. They already had that guy in their mix, which is perfect for what they're doing, right? It's great. So I think the business model that Oklahoma City has put forth, I think it's great for what they're doing. And when you play in a small market, right? When you play in a small market, what you have to do, if you're going to have any type of success, I got to do two things. I got to get it right in the draft more than I get it wrong. I have to, because that's where the meat and potatoes of my players are going to come from. I'm not getting Giannis in free agency. I'm not. Giannis is not coming here. I'm not getting Jason Tatum in free agency. I'm not getting Joker in free agency. I got to build this from the ground up. So when I get in the draft, I got to get it right. Whether it's the number 2 pick, the 12 pick, or the 32nd pick, or the 52nd pick, I got to get it right. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to miss, but I got to get it right more than I miss. And the reason why is because when I get it right, that enables me to bag or trade for guys like Alex Caruso, It allows me to trade for guys like Alex Caruso. I'll get it wrong in signing a free agent in Gordon. I got that wrong 100%. I 100% got that wrong. In Gordon Hayward, I got that wrong, no doubt about it. I got it wrong with Bismack Biyombo. I got that wrong, but I can get that wrong because I don't think that that's that big of a deal than getting the number 7 pick wrong or getting the number 5 pick wrong. I can't get that wrong. I got to get that right. I got to make sure that whoever I have on my leaderboard with the number, if I got the number 4 pick in the draft, I got the number 7 pick in the draft, I got the number 12 pick in the draft. All right, who is going to be available at 12? Well, Jay, how you feel about this kid? Jay, I know you've been talking a lot about this kid. You've been talking a lot about this kid, J-Dub, this kid, Jalen Williams in Santa Clara. Tell me about him. Like, I don't think we've been listening enough to you about this kid. Talk to me about him. What do you like about him? Because you've been bringing him up. You brought him up like 3 or 4 times now. Talk to me about him. What's going on with this kid? Well, he's 6'6". He's first class in terms of character. Great character kid. Great athlete. I think he's got a great upside offensively. Can knock down an open shot. I think he's great in transition. I think he's got a great upside as a one-on-one player. I think that with what we're trying to build, I think he's perfect for what we're doing. Hard-nosed kid, smart, knows the game, and I think he's a quick study. I think he helps us immediately. I think he's perfect for what we're doing. All right, let's bring him in and let's take a look at him. Turns out he's exactly what we're looking for. Got it right. Got it right. No doubt about it. You got it right. So this Oklahoma City team, what I haven't done enough, and what I'm doing more of, right? What I'm doing more of in this particular finals, because I feel like in the basketball community that we live in, like a lot of stuff is fueled on hate and bashing guys and making yourself feel better about who you are by putting somebody else down. Tyrese Halliburton sucks. You didn't have the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals 3 months ago. No, you didn't. You didn't. You did not. Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best lead guards in the game. He just ran up on a better team, a better unit. That doesn't negate how good he is. How good he is. I think that he's in the conversation for top five point guards in the game. 100% I see that. So, instead of me bashing Tyrese Halliburton, and even though you know how I feel about Miles Turner, instead of me doing that, I have to marvel more at what Oklahoma City has done. This team is fantastic, man. This team is great for what this team that they built in Oklahoma City. They're going to have a parade. Oklahoma City is going to win the NBA championship. And it's incredible to me that in my lifetime, I'm going to see NBA championships from Toronto, Milwaukee, Denver, and Oklahoma City in my lifetime. I've seen that. So I don't care about there being a dynasty in the next 3 or 4 years, which is what you guys are so wrapped up in talking about. I don't care about that. And the reason why I don't care about that is because I know how quickly things can change in a year. Prime example, I had the Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship. They were out in the second round. Jason Tatum tears up his Achilles, and now everything that we were trying to do, a monkey wrench gets thrown in that. Everything that we were trying to do, a monkey wrench gets thrown into that, and we're done. We're going to lose Jason Tatum for probably the entire season. With us losing Jason Tatum for the entire season, Jaylen Brown's going to come back. Apparently, he's going to be ready for training camp, but I don't know what the story is with Porzingis. I don't know what the story is with Jrue Holiday, but he's still got 3 more years left. And he ain't leaving none of that $37 million on the table when he's got that player option. He's not leaving $1 of that on the table. He isn't. No. He's taking all of that dough. He will not. So I know how quickly things can change in a year, which is why it's very important for me now to take heed and acknowledge how awesome a team is right now. Because I might have a different champion next year, which will be now 8 different champions in the last 8 seasons. That's never happened in my lifetime, ever. I've never seen 8 different champions. And because I've never seen 8 different champions, the league is recognizing that, well, we're close. Houston, Orlando, teams like that. We're close. Detroit. So, and no, in the 70s, we didn't have 8 different champions. No, we didn't. We did not. The Knicks won it. The Knicks was in the NBA Finals 3 times in 4 years and won it twice. So, no, we didn't. We did not. With that being said, I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks was in the NBA Finals twice in that decade. The Celtics won it twice. They won it in 74 and in 76. So I think to myself, how great is it that the NBA is doing what it's doing right now? Even though a lot of you guys, which I think is really funny, that a lot of you guys talk to me about parity when you don't care. You really don't. You don't care. But I care. And I've been watching the NBA Finals, and this is one of the best NBA Finals that I've ever seen. It's been fantastic. Adam Silver is telling me that the shows that are on at night, the NBA Finals is getting a higher rating than them. So somebody lying to me. 1 minute y'all tell me that this is an all-time low finals rating, but then you turn around and tell me, then Adam Silver turns around and tells me that they watching this more than they watching some of your favorite nighttime shows. So somebody lying. I'm confident that somebody's lying to me. Right? Somebody is lying to me. Somebody ain't telling me the truth. With that being said, right? With that being said, the parity in the NBA, right? The parity in the NBA tells me that these teams have taken heed. These teams have taken heed to the not necessarily the formula of Oklahoma City, but the idea that we're close. Right? This Oklahoma City team, none of us had them winning the NBA championship 3 years ago. We're in the 2025 season. Rewind the clock. 23-24, 22-23. Let's see, 21-22, 22-23, 23-24. That would be the 21-22 season. We going into the 21-22 season. If I told you Oklahoma City 3 years from now, not only are they winning the NBA championship, Shai is the league MVP. He's gonna lead the league in scoring. He's the league MVP. He's gonna be first team All-Pro. He's gonna be the Western Conference Finals MVP. They're going to the NBA championship and they're gonna win it. If I told you that 3 years ago, you buying it? If I told you that 3 years ago that Oklahoma City is going to be that team, which I'm already on record saying to you guys. Oklahoma City is who Memphis was supposed to be. If you remember that Memphis team in the 21-22 season, when they ended up being the number 2 seed, Oklahoma City turned into what they were supposed to be today. The trajectory that Memphis team was on, Oklahoma City turned into that. That's what Memphis was supposed to be. Turns out it didn't work out that way. So you look at these teams and they say to themselves, we're close. We ain't that far away. One move and some luck, and we could be right in the middle of this thing. I'd be lying if I said that the Detroit Pistons Imagine Detroit moving off of Jaden Ivey and replacing him with Devin Booker. Replace Jaden Ivey with Devin Booker. We right in the middle of this Eastern Conference race. Right in the middle of it. There is nothing in the East that I'm looking at. I'm going, all right, the Knicks way better than them. I think they right in the middle of it. This Cleveland team, who I'm already on record saying, I got Cleveland winning the NBA championship next year. I think this is a simple fix. Now, there's some of you guys that think that this is there's some of you guys that think that this is, you know, a player away or something like that. Nah. Get the Cleveland Cavaliers, put them on a bus, take them to the north side of Chicago, or take them to the west side of Chicago and take them to the park. We got to get them tough. That's the problem. That's it. We got everything necessary to win it. The problem is that we're a bunch of chumps, and we got to get tougher. That's our problem right now. Take them dudes to the west side of Chicago. Take them dudes to downtown Jersey City. Let's do that. Let's take these dudes to downtown Jersey City. Let's lock them in. Let's lock them in a cage, and lock them in a cage with some ballers, some tough guys. And let's get these dudes tougher because they soft. Let's do that. Let's do that because I can tell you right now, all the ingredients that's necessary to win it, they got it. Lead guard, check. Two guard, check. Elite defense, check. Rebounding, check. Rotation, check. Problem is that y'all softer than Dr. Cotton. You softer than Dr. Cotton. Throw these dudes on a bus. Let's take them to downtown Jersey City. Let's throw them in a cage, and let's get some tough guys in there, and let's rock. Let's rock. Let's get Mobley tougher. Let's get Jared Allen tougher. Let's get Darius Garland tougher. These dudes helping each other off the floor. No, I can appreciate sportsmanship. All right, I get that. I get that. I 100% get that. Yes, I 100% get that. But there has to be times when there has to be some times when it's no. He can get up himself. I ain't helping him up. No. I know. No. And Easy, the difference is because I really dig this comment right here from Easy. Easy said a day in the Shai ain't gonna fix that. Actually, it will. Let me tell you why. Because there's players who I don't think you can put the dog in somebody. You can damn sure bring it out of them, though. You can damn sure bring it out of them. Bryant did it with Gasol. Remember when we saw that clip when Bryant is mushing Gasol in his head? You know what he's mushing Gasol in his head is saying? You the baddest mother, you know what, out here. These dudes can't cover you. He ain't mushing him in his head and telling him that he's soft. He mushing him in his head and telling him, get it together. Can't nobody with you. Nobody. You are that dude. That's you. Turns out Gasol goes, you know what? You right. You are right. So a day in downtown Jersey City, open up the cage, get some ballers, and bring these dudes to the park and let some people beat on them a little bit, get these dudes tougher? Yes. 100%. You will see something different come training camp. I got a bunch of tough guys. I got a bunch of guys that's not going to get pushed around. I got all the other ingredients. I got all the other ingredients. All of it. I just need some tough guys. I just need to bring that toughness out of you that I haven't seen yet. But I want to talk to you guys. That's what I want to do. What up?
Yo, OG, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What up?
Hey, I don't know if you remember, I called in last year after the NBA draft, and I told you how Nikola Topic is the best player in the draft. I don't know if you remember, but I remember clearly.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I told you like Zachary Risashe, Alex Sarr, Tijan Solan, nothing on him. like absolutely nothing on him. And I
And
said
I love
how
Alex Sarr. I love Alex Sarr. But
no,
this kid Topic that you're talking about, I said to I'm on the panel and I said to Mars, if I'm Brooklyn, I'm calling up Oklahoma City and I'm asking for him. That's my point.
yeah, there were rumors, there were rumors here. I think they wanted to trade for, I don't know who was it, but it was this like after the All-Star break. They wanted to trade for someone. I don't remember exactly who.
The kid from Brooklyn, Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson, yeah, Cam Johnson. He was in the. There was like rumors around here in. I'm from Eastern Europe, so there were rumors around here. So I really like I said, as I said, you don't remember, but I remember calling in, and I said Oklahoma is the best and the worst team for him, because in what sense? Like they turn nothing into something. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm a basketball fan. I never knew about J-Dub. I never knew about Wiggins. I never knew about them. So they're the masters of turning something into nothing. Nothing into something.
Sure.
With Nikola Topic, he's a floor general. Like he needs the ball in his hands. He needs to control the tempo. He needs to control everything.
That doesn't. I don't think he'll get that. That doesn't work with SGA on the floor. It doesn't.
Of course, no. He's a playmaker. When you say playmaker, he's a playmaker.
So he's the guy. So what you're telling me, Pete, is he's the guy that if I'm the coach, I'm giving him the ball. He's running my offense.
Yeah. Like
that's not going to work. That's not going to work in Oklahoma City.
Nope. As I said, like they're perfect. They're perfect for his player development. But as long as the minutes on the court, he will not be able to reach that level. Right. I know he got the dog, let's say, in him, because I know where he played, in what environments he played here, and he was like calm, no pressure, nothing. He didn't lose the ball like you expect, like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, when you have 20,000 ultras, let's say hooligans, rioting around you, and your head is like totally clean, like no pressure, no mistakes.
So he's not one of them dudes that gets rattled in an environment like that. He's just fine.
No.
So you know what? So you know what it sounds like to me listening to you talk. So I got Tyler Hero at the 2, I got Wiggins at the 3, I got Bam at the 4, I got Khalil Ware at the 5. If I'm Miami, I'm calling up Oklahoma City and I'm asking for that kid.
I would too.
I'm asking for that kid because I think he's perfect in Miami. From what you're telling me, I need somebody that I can get a ball to and run my offense. I think he's perfect for what we're doing.
You know what, OG? He was projected like to be a top 3 pick, but he got injured.
Yep.
I don't know if you know. Yeah, he got injured. Yeah, partial torn his ACL in a final where he scored like 10 points, 5 assists in the first 20 minutes. So he was the engine. I know because I watch this like yearly. I watch everything. I watched Luka when he was a kid. I watched Jokic when he was a kid. I grew up with them. So watching Topic, he reminded me of I wouldn't say young Luka, because Luka he was an MVP. He was an EuroLeague MVP, so they're not comparable. But I think at their age, when Topic was 18 and when Luka was 18, the only thing Luka had above him was the 3-point shooting. I see now.
Other than that, they were pretty similar in terms of players. They weren't that far off from each other.
Nope. Other than Luka playing for a much better team, but Topic, when he got out of Europe, I said he needs to work on his 3-pointer, and he has the ability, he has the athleticism, but he's scared of going, dunking over people. Like you won't see him, but he has that in him. Like he has the athleticism. He needs to be more brave, and there's no perfect place to build that other than the NBA. And
somebody to bring that at. So he's got that in him. He just needs somebody.
He's got that. He's got it. Like
fair enough.
His father as well he beat the USA team in Indianapolis. His father, so he got that something. He got the genes. He got everything needed.
In him. So it's obvious that it's in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get with that.
Yep. And
Pete,
also,
talk to you, brother. I gotta get
one more thing. I see Oklahoma projected 24th pick, right? They have Nolan Traore. Watch out for him.
Oh, Nolan
Traore.
Okay, Nolan Chauvet. Where's he
Watch
from?
out for him. He's from France.
So French dude, Nolan Chauvet. Okay.
Yep.
I'll pay attention to him. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
What up?
Peace, chill. What's good, brother?
Peace, God.
What's going on, man? Hey, man, you on point tonight, man. I appreciate this conversation about, roster building and team construction and player development. A lot of people don't really take the time out to talk about that, chill. Right? Like you say, if you got the right pieces around you in a good franchise, you get a good coach, right? You get a good development department, a good GM, scouting reports, scouters, right? You can be in this position. This is exactly what OKC has been doing.
Sure.
And there's a lot of NBA teams that are doing this now. But like you said, they just got a little bit lucky at grabbing SGA, having Paul George available to a team that had no choice but to trade for Paul George, right? So,
it's
but
interesting, really quickly before you keep going, I want you to keep going. I think it's interesting how when people say today, like, I can't believe that they made this trade for SGA for Paul George. I can't believe that they did that. If you rewind the clock back to the 2018-2019 season, going off of who Kawhi Leonard was going into the 2019-2020 season and who Paul George was, if you don't make this trade, you are fired.
Yeah, you have to make that trade.
You are fired.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer wanted it. Remember, they wanted Kawhi. They wanted Kawhi badly, and you can't really get Kawhi without Paul George or some other star, which was the only one that they could go get. So yeah, you got to let SGA go. Because remember, we were talking about it on PC the other day about these draft picks and stuff. These are still crapshoots. It's not guaranteed. Yeah, Doc Rivers. Whether you believe, as much as people disrespect Doc Rivers' basketball acumen as a coach, whether you've believed him when he would have said, "Yeah, SGA is going to be somebody in the future in 2019," no, you probably would have been like, "Man, ain't nobody listening to you, Doc."
It would have went in one hand
right?
out the other. He saw it though. He
did.
Saw it.
He clearly saw it because he's there with him every day. He sees it, and that's the thing. That's why I tell people about the NBA draft is about potential. You being 22, 23 years old, playing 3 years of college ball, it's not what the NBA is looking for. There is no development in you. We have, like you said, we have a whole development department that we pay for to develop players. We're not trying to develop you to just be mid. You got to be the next best thing, right? So we're going to go after 19-year-old, 20-year-olds, and we're going to try to develop them. By the time you turn 23, we should already know what you're going to be or not. That's how the NBA sees it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But do you think with all this roster construction and all the stuff that's going on with the team aspect of it, do you think they're going to find a way to let veterans stay? Because you still need veterans in your league to show the young people how to be professional and how to go about the game.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jay. And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up is because with the veterans today, it's very much like what was going on with your Miami Heat when they went to them NBA championships 4 straight years. Jay, I can get some guys on the cheap come to Oklahoma City, especially when they see what we're building down here and they see that we're winning the NBA championship and we rolling. If I get a guy that's in year 10, a year 11, that's already made enough money, that's already been to the NBA championship, or he's trying to win it, and kind of like a David West type of guy, I can get that on my roster now, on the cheap, as opposed to before where I had to search for that. Well, I don't have to, even though it is Oklahoma City, but I don't have to do that now, considering we've already won it, and we've been to the Western Conference Finals, we've been to the playoffs. We have these caliber of players. It's a lot less difficult to get guys to come play here when we're winning, as opposed to a guy just coming to collect a paycheck. There's more incentive to it there.
That's true. But like I said, man, I like the trajectory that the NBA is going with right now. I think next year is going to be a good barometer of what we're going to see with this new collective bargaining agreement. There's going to be teams they're going to figure some things out, and they're going to be making some good moves. So we're still going to see a lot of player movement and teams trying their best to win. And as an NBA fan, we're good here. I like this.
Summer,
I like where
Jay,
we're at.
This summer, Jay, I can imagine that there will be. And I'll say it to you today, I think this might be the most player movement we've had in a decade this summer.
This summer, you think so?
This summer, I think that will. And the reason why I'm saying that to you, Jay, is because, again, we could be looking at next season the 8th different champion. And we got, with Jason Tatum getting hurt in Boston, there's an uncertainty with Cleveland. We got some teams in the Eastern Conference that are close. We already saw what the Knicks did last year. We got teams like Detroit. We got teams like, not just Detroit, but Detroit, Houston, Indiana, Milwaukee. Even though I don't think Milwaukee has the assets to build around Giannis like that, but we have some teams that look at this. Or you saw what Orlando just did. We got some teams that are looking at the landscape of the NBA going, we ain't that far away. One guy and maybe some luck, and we could really be in the middle of this. We could be right in the middle of this thing. So I wouldn't be surprised, Jay, if we saw some of the most player movement that I've seen in a decade this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
And it's all good because you know what? NFL does the same thing. No one complains. Players move all the time in the NFL. Players get cut, waived, and they sign with new teams all the time. So yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow because I think OKC will win tomorrow night, and I would like to see how they get praised. I would love to see to make sure that they get praised because they deserve it, man. They're a great team.
Do, Jay, and I got to get moving, but Jay, what I don't want to do is I'm trying to move away from that. These guys were awful instead of these guys are awesome. I want to start doing that more. I particularly have to start doing that more, recognizing, well, you only beat these guys. No. You guys were awesome. These guys were fantastic. I try not to buy into, like, I made a post. Somebody was talking about, I can't believe that I'm seeing Oklahoma City win the NBA championship before Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. Well, wait a minute. Okay. That's not to say that Oklahoma City wasn't awesome, but KD and Russ had a way different path that they had to go through to get there, as opposed to Oklahoma City. That doesn't mean that Oklahoma City, even though they had to beat Indiana, that doesn't mean that they aren't fantastic. So let's make sure that I want to emphasize that this team is fantastic. They're excellent. 100% they are. They're excellent. So, all right, Jay, I know where to find you at, brother.
They are, man.
Yep.
All right, brother. Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir. What up?
Yo, chill. You hear me?
What up?
Man, we haven't spoken since the first round. A lot has happened since then, bro. The Indiana Pacers are in the finals. What in the world?
What Benny, if I told you before the series, before the playoffs started, yo, the Pacers going to the NBA championship, and they're gonna be in a dogfight with the Oklahoma City Thunder, you'd have hung up on me. You ain't coming back.
Man, chill. I've been meaning to come on here and just talk about this Pacers team because it's crazy that their style of basketball has really got to the finals, honestly, in the isolation league that we're in now. And they don't really have a go-to player. It's really just a different guy every night stepping up and being the X factor. And it's really nice to see, honestly.
I just think that style of play is the most glaring thing that has gotten them to where they are, which is why Oklahoma City is as good as they are, because we're going to slow that down. Like, for sure. Indiana has proven that we're going to play fast and we're going to run you out of the building. That's what we're going to do. We are going to run you out of the building. Oklahoma City said, y'all ain't doing that to us. No.
At all. Because their transition defense is so good and they have so many versatile defenders. It's just two great teams going at it. It's great. I wanted to ask you, though, I'm starting to pay more attention to this whole CBA thing with all this stuff going on around the league. Player movement happening this summer. You were talking about with the previous guest. Supposed to be a lot of player movement. Should the Indiana Pacers go into that second apron for a 4-year deal on Miles Turner? I'm gonna give you my opinion first, and then you can.
I don't think that they do it. I'm listening to you. What you got?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not the biggest Miles Turner guy. I don't think he's improved much since honestly his 10 years in the league. Honestly, I like him as a player. He stretches the floor, can be a rim protector some nights he goes ghost. And I just think with the money they would give him, if they do go through with it, they could fill that slot in with, because they don't really need much at the 5, in my opinion, with the way they play. They just need somebody who will run the floor and commit every play, in my opinion. I don't know who that is out there for them, but I think Miles Turner is replaceable, in my opinion. No offense to him. You can go ahead with what you think about it.
No, you're right. I do think that he's replaceable. I'm not a big fan of Vinny. If you know anything about me, I don't like big guys that don't rebound. I just don't.
Man, I'm watching. Chill. He don't even look at the. I don't even.
Everybody has. Vinny, you have a specific gripe about a something that a player does that you can't stand. There's something with me. It's big men that don't rebound. I can't handle it.
And people try to blame it on the way they play, like the Pacers. No, they rebound. The guards rebound for the Pacers because they run the floor. But would you pay him? You were saying, continue with what you were saying.
I mean, what options do I have? Can I upgrade at my 5 spot? Because I know Washington ain't giving me that kid Alex Sarr.
No, I don't think so.
Brook Lopez is long in the tooth. I feel like Turner, he's been here 10 years, and he fits our style of play.
He does. I'm not going to fight that.
We already showed that, I mean, 2 years in a row, we were in the East Finals. And then we ended up making it to the NBA championship. So now we just need some things to go our way. Because our style of play has proven that we are championship contenders.
Yeah, and this series is not over. Don't get me wrong. I think Oklahoma City ends it. But, right. I mean, they could win in 7. Who knows? Indiana always got something up their sleeve, it seems like. But, yeah, Miles Turner, man, I don't know what I would do with that. That's a tough one for them to answer the question to that. One more thing I wanted to ask before I get out of here. Do you think the OGs, as in Kawhi's Clippers, Curry's Warriors, LeBron's Lakers, Kevin Durant, wherever he goes, do you think the OGs are done winning chips with this current landscape?
I think they over. I think
Curry. Even if they do that Spurs deal, they saying that's going down. That Kevin Durant to Wemby.
I think them dudes is over. I do. I said this 3 years ago that James was done winning NBA championships as the man. Now the fact that he's got Luka and he knows that he's going to have to take a step back and let Luka do it, that's different. If they can win it like that, yes. But as far as being the man, I think them days are over. I do.
Yeah, roster-wise, you thought the Clippers had a shot. I ain't gonna lie. Chill, you was on that trade for a little bit.
I was looking at their roster, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, man. It's not bad. It's really not. A lot of versatile defenders.
But it's the Clippers, though. It's the Clippers, and I knew that this train was going to crash eventually. I did.
Yeah, good talking to you, though, Chill, man.
All right,
like
brother,
always.
You know where to find me at. What up?
Yo, I'm hot. I'm hot.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Chill, what's the word, man? Yo,
What's
Chill,
up,
man. I don't see it, man. I do not see it, man. I agree with everything you say right there. Like, all right, the Cavs got everything right there, right? But, yo, that problem right there, that one problem you highlighted right there, that's a serious problem. I don't see it getting fixed right there, man. That's a reoccurring problem. We've been talking about that problem for at least 2 years now. Bro, when somebody show you who they are, believe it.
Sure.
Believe it.
Yeah.
And when I need it the most, when I'm begging for it, when I need it, do you come through or not? Do you even try to come through or not? I see what I see.
I don't think, but here's the thing though, Easy. I don't think that it's about basketball more than it's just about being tough. Like I feel like in terms of their game, I feel like they got all of that stuff. You ever seen the show Scared Straight when they take them kids and bring them into the penitentiary?
Yeah, I see it. I saw that.
That's what I'm thinking about with Cleveland. Like, we need to get these dudes and get them around some real tough guys and show them what it looks like.
But Chill, all right, let's use that analogy, right? Hear what I'm saying, right? You take them into that cell. I'm seeing them cower. They looking at that cell like, oh, shit, this is what a real dog look like, man. Right. I don't think I got that right there. I don't think I got that right there.
Somebody on that crew got it.
I'll
say somebody on that crew got that.
Chill. I'll be but chill. All right, I'll be completely honest. Maybe Evan Mobley, maybe that could come out. I'll be completely honest. I don't think Jarrett Allen got that in him at all.
And to be honest with you, Easy, you don't have to have it in you. I just need you to roll with me because I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you because I got it.
But here my thing though, Chill. Here my thing though, right? Because we go into war, right? I got a dog behind me. His bite is tough, it's strong. But I'm looking at these other dogs right here. We go into the war, their bite is strong. If I'm a guy that I'm rolling with you because you the big dog, and I'm looking now we in the fight now, right? I'm looking at a bigger dog now, regardless of what. You the big dog, but I'm looking at a bigger dog now. Chill, you know this, bro. You know this. People are gonna shrink, especially in front of a bigger dog. Hell no.
But if I know that I got a big dog, I stick my chest out a little bit more because I got a big dog. You heard what Jordan said about Scotty? Yo, I'll fight with you. Just fight.
But that's MJ though.
Just fight. And I'm glad you brought that up, Easy, because Donovan Mitchell, he won't get pushed around. No, he won't. But this is what I mean when I say we got to throw these dudes in that cell and we got to bring that dog out of them. Which one of you dudes is that dude? Because that's our problem. Which one of you is it? Because I can tell you right now, we get in that cell and all of them dudes, we're going to find out which one of them is going to cheese up and which one of them is going to stand up. And the ones that stand up, get behind these dudes and run with them.
Hey, chill. All I'm saying is, once you do that, it might be disappointing what you see what happened right after that. That's all I'm saying. It might be disappointing what you see what happened after
but
that.
At least I know what I'm dealing with, though. Easy, I do. At least I know. At least I know who's scared and how I can fix that.
No, I get that. I get that. But real quick before I get up out of here, chill. Real quick, cause I see the SGA talk. SGA had a phenomenal season. To me, he about to win the triple crown. He got the MVP, he about to win the finals MVP, and he got the conference MVP. So he about to win the triple crown to me. Like, that's what it is. He all-time great OKC player. I'm not ready to put him over KD, especially with one of the points you brought up. Like, he did what he had to do. If he does what he have to do, he did what he had to do. But KD had to go through all-time great teams. Like, I was just talking about it on my dog Breezy channel the other day. Like, yo, listen, that team, that 2014 Spurs team, I think it was, right? They went against OKC. It was a fucking hell of a Kawhi block that made that shit then go to Game 7. That shit go to Game 7. What we talking about now? Dogfight, and that's an all-time great team, right? Record-blown margin against the Heat in the finals, right? But it takes a crazy Kawhi block for you to get past that shit right there.
Well, easy.
I'm sorry.
SGA, how long SGA been nice in Oklahoma City?
I'll say about 3 years, 4 years. I'll say 3 years. He really at that MVP level.
KD was nice for 9 years.
9 years.
There. He was nice when he walked in the door.
Walked through the door.
From the door. Now, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate the championship. I can appreciate that. 100% I can dig that. But you still got work to do if you're talking about being that nice. You do. I ain't going to argue that. So, all right, easy. I know where to find you at, brother.
Yes, sir.
What up?
Hey, man. What's up, man? Last night we spoke about SGA and what he's doing and things like that. And I talked about how the Thunder and the Pacers, it wasn't really a matchup that I was any of us anticipated. But I would like to say, like I told you last night, I had the Thunder beating these dudes in 4 games. That didn't happen. Then I switched to 5. That also didn't happen. And as I seen the series going, I thought to myself, okay, this is looking like this could be a series where when it's done, people are gonna say the Pacers were a formidable opponent. Because I thought if the Thunder swept these dudes in 4 games, they would say, oh, the Thunder didn't face nobody and all this type of jazz. But now being as though Tyrese Halliburton is hindered, now opens up the door for people to be like, well, the Pacers would have did this if the Thunder were, and it just sucks. I hate that those type of narratives, it seems like in almost every finals, we get these narratives. And what do you think about that?
I still feel like they would have beat them anyway, but I do think that it puts some more credibility on Indiana.
Yeah.
I do feel like Indiana turned out to be a lot better than what I thought. I had them beating Indiana in 5 games, and I had a comfortable gentleman's sweep. I didn't have after Indiana won that one, after they won that first game, I didn't have Indiana winning another game in the series. So tomorrow night's game is the first time that Oklahoma has been up in this series. They haven't been up in the series the entire series. They were down 1-0. They tied the series. They went back down 2-1. They were in a dogfight in game 4 before SGA turned into SGA in the 4th quarter. Because I'm watching this thinking to myself, are the Pacers going to win the NBA championship? Oh, shit.
Man.
I'm watching this thinking to myself, they look like they can win this thing. Because if they go up 3-1, I think the series is over. But with that being said, they turned out to be definitely more of a formidable opponent than what I thought. And the fact that Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, I don't think that this takes away from who they are. I think this gives them more credibility.
Man, I know them dudes in OKC when they was on what was that, game 4? I know they had the bubble guts, man, because I sure had the bubble guts for them, man. I was like, man, like to have this great season, SGA MVP, and then to go out like this is like it's all washed away. I mean, it's not washed away in history, but it's all like you got to start over, and without the chip.
Guarantee that we getting back. No guarantee. Especially considering what's been going on. Ain't no guarantee we coming back here next year.
No guarantee. No guarantee. They need to finish this in 6. I don't think they need to give the Pacers no more breathing room. No. I don't want to see a game 7. They got to finish them at home and break the Pacers' hearts. That's what they got to do.
I think it's over tomorrow night. Good to talk to you, X.
All right, man.
Brother. What up?
Yo, what up, Chill?
What up?
What up? Yeah, I do think that OKC they can become a dynasty, but they have to win the chip this year though. And because if they don't, because the NBA seasons are so long, I don't really think they can recover from this if they don't win it this year. And with Tyrese Halliburton, he hasn't been good this series. And I know he's the Pacers' best player, but if he doesn't play the rest of this series, I actually think that that could be a spark for the Pacers, and that's something that OKC can't sleep on because that gives TJ McConnell more minutes, and that gives him more opportunities to stay in the game and help the Pacers offense out.
Well, the same thing
And
happened last year when Tyrese Halliburton went down with the groin injury against the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics beat them in 4, but that game 4 was a dogfight. That game 4, they didn't just walk by Indiana in 4 games like, whoop, just gonna breathe. No, that was a dogfight game 4. It came down to a 1 possession with Drew Holiday getting a steal with 10 seconds to end the game. That's without Halliburton on the floor.
right, it was a dog fight. Like I said, I know he's their best player, but he just had a bad series, and that happens. And because the NBA is the best players in the world, and so you're gonna have times where you're not gonna have a good series and a good game. And so I just really I'm rooting for the Pacers, but like I said, if OKC wins this one, they're definitely going to be a dynasty. But I think that the Magic, I think they're on the come up. I think that if OKC don't win this year, I think the Magic are going to win the championship next year. That move they made for Desmond Bain,
That was a big
I
deal,
think
yo.
I think that was the perfect move.
That was a big
I
deal.
don't really agree with the draft picks, but honestly, I don't agree with even if they could have got KD. I don't think I still wouldn't agree with giving up all those draft picks. And I actually think that due to Desmond Bain's contract, I think he actually was a better fit for the Magic than KD because the Magic already, in my eyes, they already have 2 rising superstars with Paolo
Franz.
and Franz. They got 2 guys that are
I think their front
6'10"
court is
that can
set. To be honest with
right.
you, Classic, I think their front court is set with Paolo, France, and Wendell Carter. I think their front court is set. We don't need KD. No.
Right, right. And Desmond Bain is he's like Derek White is my favorite player in the league, and I think Desmond Bain can kind of fill that role for them, a guy that can make big plays and make big shots whenever they need it.
Yep.
So yeah, if OKC don't win this year, man, I'm rooting with the Magic next year. But yeah, they gotta close this out though to start the dynasty because if they don't, I think they're gonna make some major changes and they're not gonna keep. They're gonna lose some like important pieces of their core, like maybe a Lou Dort or somebody that's really helped them get here.
That'd be interesting. All right, Classic. I know where to find you at, brother. Good to talk
All
to
right,
you.
man. You have a good one.
Sir. What up?
Chill. What's going
What's up,
on,
brother?
sir?
What's up, brother?
You said something just a couple of minutes ago that really made me scratch my head. And the fact that you said that even if SGA wins the championship, finals MVP, as far as the hierarchy of Thunder players, you wouldn't
Still feel
place
like
them
you got
over.
work to do. That's a box that got checked.
I'm curious as to why, other than the longevity of his career at OKC, what other reason would you have to not say he's better than Kevin Durant? In my opinion is really him trying to be better than the legacy that Russell left than Kevin Durant.
Is he?
Because go ahead.
Dwayne Wade is James better than Dwayne Wade as a Miami Heat?
Absolutely not. But that's different.
Why?
Because Dwayne Wade was already a champion in Miami.
Sure.
Kevin Durant never was a champion in the Thunder. So
when they got there, they just didn't win it. Sure.
Correct. So you look at their careers, and matter of fact, you not only look at their careers, but you look at their play styles. You look at the opponents that they've played. I completely agree with some of the other callers that said the Thunder had to go against some great teams. Completely agree. But the circumstances that OKC had, that if you had told me 3 years ago the OKC would have been in the finals, I'd have said doubtful. Because we had just saw Jokic and we just saw Golden State body the West. So no, I wouldn't have thought OKC would have been able to get through them. Not only that, you're looking at Ant coming off of the Olympics, thinking, okay, he's definitely next up. Nobody saw SGA and and the OKC Thunder making this frankly, it's still elite considering everything that they've gone through, even
Is he
the
better
last
than
couple of
Russ?
years.
Is he better than Russ?
If he wins a championship,
Yeah, is he better
and
than Russ?
he's the final, he has to. You have to say that.
I
You
mean,
have
you led the league in scoring this year. I did it twice in the Oklahoma City uniform. You was the league MVP. I did that too. And
correct.
I was here 12 years.
Correct.
I got to the NBA championship just like you. I wasn't able to get it done like you did, but in order for you to surpass me, that means that what we did was similar. I was here 12 years. In the 12 years that I was
12
here,
years,
I was super. I wasn't awesome. I was super. And by the way, I was first team All Pro, and I was leading the league in scoring when Curry was running around, when Dame was running around, when Chris Paul was running around, when John Wall was running around.
So
when these type of dudes was running around. That's
let
what
me
I
ask you. Let me ask you this: when Steph won,
too, by the way,
when Steph won his first championship in Golden State, did you think at that point he was a better Golden State Warrior than Wilt Chamberlain?
Nope. Chamberlain.
Why?
Well, first of all, Chamberlain got to the NBA championship. Well, I take that back. Steph has been there in the 14-15 season. He had been there longer. Chamberlain, I think Chamberlain only played in San Francisco for I want to say 2 years, maybe.
I thought it was three or four.
Two or 3 years. Curry at that point, he had been there for 5 years.
Correct.
He
had those early injuries that kept him out the sideline a lot.
Yep.
So a lot of those first couple of years, frankly, I don't really count those. The core years, anything after basically 2010, is really where Curry started making.
So the year he won the league MVP and the year he won the league MVP in 14-15, them first 3 years, 09, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, I mean 12, 13, that's when he was turning into that.
Correct.
Chamberlain was already that dude when he got to San Francisco.
Correct. But he also got them a championship.
Curry did do that. And I feel like that checks the box. And I feel like with Chamberlain was a better player, but Curry was there longer, with him being there longer. I think about the league MVP. I mean, how much of a difference would it have made if they would have beat that Celtic team? He would have beat Russell.
Here's the thing. I don't think Chamberlain leaves Golden State.
But I also think that I could use the same logic with, like, how much of a difference would it make if Oklahoma City would have beat Miami, which they didn't. So I feel like when you're talking about being the best ever for an organization, one, I care about how long you were there. Like Kawhi Leonard, I don't think I could put Kawhi Leonard in the same conversation with Vince Carter and Chris Bosh. I mean, yes, he won the NBA championship. He was only there for one season. He only played 62 games. That was it. All the years that them dudes put in there, the all-time leading rebounder, being an all-pro a bunch of different seasons, making an all-star team, making an all-pro team, going deep into the playoffs. For Kawhi to come here for 62 games in a season and win the NBA championship, that doesn't put you ahead of everything else that I did.
I always thought that Mr. Raptors was Kyle Lowry.
He was there for 9 years, yes.
Yeah, and he was on the championship team. Yeah.
Vince Carter, all of these dudes.
No disrespect to Kawhi, but yeah, he was only there for a year.
That's it. And
that's it.
That's what I'm thinking about when I think about, when we talk about the championship logic. Well, if we're going to bring the championship logic into that, then we got to be consistent with that. That means that Kawhi Leonard is the best Raptor all time. Because just so we clear, Minor, I mean, SGA you just said it to me yourself. 3 years ago, if I told you going into the 21-22 season, that was the year that Memphis was the second seed and the Lakers beat them. If I told you, Minor, 3 years from now, this Oklahoma City team, they win in the NBA championship, I think Shai's going to be an MVP, and I think he's going to be the best guard in the league. If I'd have told you that 3 years ago, you'd be like, chill, relax, yo.
Whatever you smoke and throw it away.
Chill, relax. Calm down, my man. I mean, I agree with a lot of stuff you say, but relax, brother. You're on the edge of this Grand Canyon cliff right now. And I jumped. So with that being said, he's only been nice for like 3 years. Russ was that dude for over a decade. I just didn't get the championship thing done.
But chill. And you always say this.
Winning does matter.
Matter.
Winning does matter, but winning matters after the other stuff. Remember, your game being timeless. How awesome were you? How long were you awesome? I mean, Russ was awesome for almost a decade. SGA, you just got awesome. You ain't even been nice for half a decade yet.
Oh, I agree, but man, looking at the landscape of the way the NBA is now, we ain't gonna get a whole lot of, if any, back-to-back champions anytime soon.
I don't think we are.
So looking at them in this particular case, where they've not only are getting most likely going to get a championship, but they've done it in a more dominant fashion, frankly, than the OKC teams with Russ and KD. You look at those games where they made it deep into the playoffs, or even when they made it to the finals, they were in dog fights. A lot of those series,
right?
A lot of those series are 6-7 game series. This OKC team has been dominant this entire playoff, making Jokic look subpar, making Anthony Edwards look subpar, blowing teams out in historic fashion.
Completely took Anthony Edwards out of that series. They did. They took him out.
They took Jokic out of the series. Chill. Damn. The quote-unquote best player in the league. They removed him from play. They put Caruso on him, and he shut him down. Chill.
The idea that they shut a dude down who had 240-20, who had 240-10 games. I mean, they ain't shut him down. Let's be clear about that. But
Chill,
I can appreciate that.
I'm just saying, Chill, you look at that team.
They did a good job.
And Shai is the engine that makes that team go. I know how you are, Chad. I know you like to see how things develop. I know how you like to give things time. But it's getting to a point where it's almost undeniable Shai is going to be Mr. OKC.
I need to see it. But I can tell you right now, Minor, if we keep doing this, I will see it. So I know where to find you at, brother. Good to talk to you, my man. Absolutely. Speaking of talking, it's about that time for me. I got to bounce. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. Every Monday night, every Tuesday night, every Wednesday night, or weeknights. I am here on the Chilltown Hoops Network. You know where to find me. If I'm not here, I'm on TikTok, 9 a.m. I do Good Morning NBA. If I'm not there, you can find me on the panel on the Players Choice Network right here on YouTube. If I'm not there, I'm here. Weeknights on the Chilltown Hoops Network. I am not hard to find. Hit that subscribe button. You will see me. I will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. This was dope.